Sagan.
What is up, you guys? It is Clover HD coming at you today with a weird video. It's a story that's so bizarre that I had to talk about it. I was looking around for which one I should talk about today, and this definitely is it. So yesterday on June 1st, early in the morning, a professor at UCLA was shot and killed. And as far as they knew at the moment, they knew there was a shooter on campus, and there were at least 2 people dead. They found 2 bodies. They didn't identify them at first. And the whole campus was freaking out, obviously, because there's a shooter on campus. And what made it worse is all these false reports were showing up of people, calling 911 all across campus saying they were hearing gunshots, because everyone was like hyper aware of their surroundings and of noises far off in the distance that might be gunshots. So all across campus, kids were getting text messages from the school, emails, everything, and there were reports online showing up, and all that stuff, all their systems that alert students when there's bad things going on campus, like natural disasters or shooters or whatever. They were going off telling kids that, oh, this building's not safe, there might be a shooter there, this building's not safe. So there's all these kids barricading themselves in rooms, classrooms, dorms at UCLA's campus with 25,000 kids there. So it was really scary for all those kids, and I'll throw up some pictures right now of the kids barricading themselves in offices, classrooms, dorm rooms. It's really strange. It's kind of scary to see because you hear about school shootings so often, especially in the early 2000s, and it's just frightening because today there's so many cameras you can actually see more of what's going on. So pretty much that's what happened, and everyone was really scared. Police showed up, SWAT showed up, the whole campus had to be searched, building by building. They had hundreds and hundreds of police officers and SWAT teams going into these buildings, clearing them out, taking kids out. And the kids were being dragged out or taken out with their hands raised because they didn't know if the shooter was like trying to pretend like, maybe he threw away the gun and then was pretending to be a student, because that's a real fear because you never know who it is with all these people there. It'd be so easy to blend back in. Anyway, they ended up determining that the shooter was one of the 2 people they found. They weren't 100% sure because they found a gun and 2 bodies shot in the head, and they decided that the killer was in fact one of the 2 men by the name of Mainak Sarkar. He was a doctoral student at UCLA. In 2011 he graduated with a PhD in engineering, and the person he had killed was a professor by the name of William Klug. I'll put up a picture of William, and the reason he did it was because apparently they looked back at some old reports and they'd found that he had made some claims that the teacher, which was his one-time teacher, had apparently stole some of his computer code, or he was believed to have done that. And that's all pretty crazy on its own, but then the story gets even crazier when they found out by looking at his apartment after identifying the shooter. They looked in his apartment because he apparently had left a note. At first they didn't decide if he had left a note at the scene, but he did, and it said a few things. They can't release what it all says, but apparently at the end it said, "Check on my cat." And it was written to the police. Like, how fucking insane is this creepy dude, Mainak, whatever his name is? Anyway, they went back to his apartment, they searched the apartment, and I'm sure they found a cat or whatever weird stuff he had at his apartment. But they also found a kill list, and on that kill list was the teacher that he had shot, William Klug, the teacher he had shot, another professor that they're not mentioning, they're not giving out his name, and a third person, a woman named Ashley Hasti. Now, Ashley had apparently been killed a few days prior. They didn't find her body right away. Pretty safe to assume that he killed her, waited a few days, and then they went to the campus to shoot both of the other 2 professors after shooting the woman. It's not reported yet why he went after the woman or the second professor that's been unidentified, but it is identified why he shot William Klug, and that's the main story that everyone's talking about because it actually happened on UCLA's campus. And the weird thing about it is Sarkar actually showed up to the campus with enough ammunition to kill a lot more people than 2 or 3. And there was no identification saying that he was only planning on killing 2 people, and there was no mention of suicide in the note that he left behind. So they can't say for sure if it was his actual plan to just kill those 3 people, or if he was planning on killing a lot more. And also, after he shot the William Klug, he went around campus for a little bit in the building, apparently. They're believed from the security images, they're not releasing them yet, but it's believed that he went around searching for the second professor, who apparently was not on campus that day. Thank God at least one of them wasn't there. He then went back to the room with William Klug and shot himself. Now this story is so messed up, guys, but I had to say something on it. It's just such a crazy story that this prior student who's a PhD student who seems like kind of a nerd did something crazy like this. And what a psychopath. And then he left a note that said, "Check on my cat." So bizarre. bizarre, so strange. Anyway, guys, I hope you found it a little interesting like I did. Also, a side note, today, the day after this happened, it actually happens to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. What are the chances? I mean, there's so many holidays being popped up, like ones people make and stuff. You can't even keep track. I mean, I didn't even know that was what it was. I didn't even know that was a holiday at all until I was researching this story. But anyway, it's just so strange. There were 3 gunshots heard in total in that building, the engineering building. It happened in the office, in the actual teacher William Klug's office, small office. I feel really bad for the guy. Apparently, he's being talked about as if he was a really great person, really great professor. Went the extra mile. He was very young. He had 2 kids. Very sad. Really terrible. Gun violence really needs to stop. Especially, you just wouldn't expect it to happen in a state like California, where they have background checks. They have tons of gun bans. It's a really liberal state, and it's kind of surprising, that stuff like this is still happening as frequently as it does. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts. Again, hopefully you thought this story was interesting or awful, which it is. I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.